Hi, it's Nix here from Quest for a Farm, and today we are processing some chicken. Yesterday we went and we bought a whole lot of chicken, so today we are going to be putting it in marinades and rubs and what have you, so we can put it in the freezer and it'll be ready when we need it. So I'm doing 8 different meals and using 5 separate recipes. So first up, I have 24 deboned chicken thighs. Yeah, so we're going to be dividing this up into 3 separate meals. I then have 5 kilograms of chicken breasts. Some of them I'm going to be using some of the same seasonings as the thighs. And then we are also cooking 2 kilos of the chicken breasts separately. We are going to be making a chicken a la king with one of them that we will then cool down and put in the freezer. And with the other one, we are going to be doing a family recipe that we call sexual harassment chicken, and I will tell you the story behind that when we get to it. But first we are making a garlic, soy, honey and ginger marinade. So we are going to take our garlic. I know it's canned garlic or bottled garlic, but our garlic plants are not ready yet. So I'm going to put 2 generous spoons.
And I didn't plant enough of them.
And Mandy didn't plant enough. I'm going to, as soon as I can get this open. Okay, we're back. We had to get the teenage boy to open this. Right, so we have some soy sauce going in. I'm going to put quite a bit in because this is going to be for 2 batches. We might have to mix up a bit more. We'll see how much we use on the thighs, because we also want it to be... What is going on today? Okay, I've got it open. Okay, I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of ginger powder. This is actually ginger powder that we made ourselves from our ginger that we grew and then dehydrated. So we're going to give that a good stir, mix that ginger powder in, and then we are going to add some honey. I'm just going to pour some honey in. Right, there's our first marinade. Just make sure that honey's mixed in nicely. Okay, now we have our plastic bag here. So I'm just going to put 8 pieces of chicken in here. And you'll see some of these are not completely defrosted. Where is the cat?
It's outside the door.
That's 3, 4. Oh, God. 6, 7, and 8. Right. Let's just give this another good mix. And then I'm going to pour it into my bag, and then we will smush it all about. One advantage to having these very long bags is that when you do things like this, you've got the space to do it. So I'm literally going to now tie a knot in here. And make this as flat as possible. And then this will go into the freezer for when we are ready to eat it. The next one that we're going to do is we're going to do some taco seasoning. Bag.
You're gonna link the video, hey?
Yes. I will link the video on how we made this taco seasoning. This is our own taco seasoning that we made earlier on. So we'll put, but with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with each layer of chicken, I'm going to throw in some of this taco seasoning to make sure that we get it on all of our pieces of chicken. Six. Oops.
Oh shit.
Okay. That was a bit more than I meant to put in there. It's not going well. Just mix that around. Okay, mix that all together. Almost sort of half massage this in. Okay. Tie a knot in this one. Okay, that's our second one ready to go into the freezer. And now for our last thing of chicken thighs, we are going to do a lemon pepper in oil rub. Well, not rub. Marinade situation. So we're going to use this. How does this thing work? What is going on? I haven't been drinking.
Maybe you should start drinking.
Jeez. I'm going to put quite a lot of this lemon and herb spice in there. Give that a good stir. And then we're going to put our last 8 thighs in there, and then we'll start chopping up our chicken breasts.
Okay, free.
Okay, the reason that we like to pre-marinate chicken and that is because we'll often decide at the last minute that we want to have a braai or a barbecue. Here in South Africa, we call it a braai. And to go out and buy pre-marinated pieces of chicken and that every time starts becoming quite expensive. So we like to have it in the fridge, ready to go, and we can just haul it out and defrost it and then throw it onto the grill. Or also for those days that everything has just been a little bit hectic, or if we know that we're going to have a hectic day, we like to have stuff on standby that we can just take out of the freezer in the morning, hide from the cats, and then we can just literally throw it into the oven, and dinner, half the work for dinner is then pre-done. Alright, so this is our lemon pepper marinade. We'll just squidge that around as well. And I love this particular lemon pepper spice. It's by a South African company called Ina Palmen. Where is it?
Yeah.
And her stuff is always divine. It's always
Very good.
It's always high quality ingredients. So when we can find her stuff, I like to buy it. All right, so that's this one done. Try and get this packets as flat as possible so that they take up as little space in the freezer as possible. And then we'll just put a knot in this packet as well. And that is our chicken thighs ready to go into the freezer. I am going to chop up the chicken breasts and start getting them going. And we'll be back as soon as they're ready. Okay, our chicken is now all cut up. So here we have chicken pieces that we've cut into little cubes, and we are going to put the same honey, garlic, soy and ginger dressing on these as we did on the chicken thighs. The reason I've cut these into little cubes is that we will probably want to skewer them. So here in South Africa we call it sarties. I think it's also called kebabs out in the world, but that's what we call it. So it's basically pieces of meat on a skewer that you would then put on the braai or a grill or a barbecue. So that's going into our honey, soy, garlic, ginger marinade. Okay, then the next bag we've got, we've cut these into strips, and we will do either a stir fry or nachos or something like that with them in the future. So I'm going to put some of our taco seasoning on these. Mix that all around. I think we might need to make a bit extra taco seasoning to put onto here, so I'll do that. And then these I have cut into basically flat fillet pieces, and we are going to marinate them in a Prego sauce. So that is a peri-peri type marinade. That's
Portuguese, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Portuguese. It's of Portuguese origin, Mozambican Portuguese situation. So I'm going to pour that over these chicken breasts, and these are divine if you just throw them onto a hot griddle or pan, and then you put them on nice fresh Portuguese rolls. Kind of like a bit of a chicken burger thing, but not entirely the same.
And no cheese.
No, you don't put cheese. You can put a bit of lettuce and tomato on with them, but not so much cheese. Okay, so we're gonna smush the sauce around, and then that is this lots of chicken ready to go into the freezer. So I will just add a bit more taco seasoning to this one, and then we will put these in the freezer. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the rest of our chicken breasts. So we are now 6 down, 2 to go.
And we're about an hour and a half in.
Not even. I think about an hour, maybe 45 minutes.
No, not 45.
Oh, have you been timing?
Yes, I
So
do.
that clock's wrong. But yeah, so I will be back.
We're less than an hour and a half in.
Yeah. And we'll be back and show you what we're going to do with the rest of our chicken breasts. Okay, so our other 2 packs of chicken breast I have boiled in stock with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. So they're now cooked. So Mandy is going to shred half of it, and I'm going to chop the other half into bite-sized pieces. And we are going to pre-prepare 2 meals so that if we're feeling particularly lazy, we can just pull them out of the fridge or the freezer and just make some rice and vegetables to go with them. So we will do that, and then I'll be back and show you how we're going to cook it. Okay, so in this pot we have onions and garlic on the go, and we're going to add some mushrooms to that. In this pot we have onions and garlic, and we're going to add some carrots. So we've pre-chopped our carrots, onions and garlic, and our mushrooms are pre-chopped. So we're just going to let this all fry down a bit, and then we'll add our chicken and our sauces that we need. So I'm going to let this just cook down a bit, and then we'll start adding chicken. Alright, so now my mushrooms and carrots have cooked down a bit. So to this one I'm going to add a little bit of flour and then mix that in well. So we're basically going to be forming a roux. Then we are going to throw our diced chicken in. So we've now got our chicken in there, and now we are going to pour some milk over this. Still pouring milk. That should do it. Okay, then we're going to mix this all together nicely, and we'll let that milk just thicken a bit, and then this will take off the heat, let it cool down nicely, and then we will put it into a bag into the freezer. This other one, what we're going to do with that is, now that our onions and carrots and that have cooked down nicely, I'm going to add our shredded chicken. So this is actually a recipe that my mom got many years ago from a lady who worked in her office. And the reason we call it sexual harassment chicken is it's a bit of an off-color joke in our family that this lady was particularly well known in the town we lived in at the time for accusing any male staff member that she worked with of sexual harassment. To the point that if she asked for a meeting with a lot of the businessmen in the town, they would make sure that they had a witness. Anyway, she's the one who gave my mom this recipe. So we're going to go in with some, I'm using monkey gland sauce. You can also use barbecue sauce. Monkey gland is, I think it's quite specific. It's kind of like a barbecue sauce. It's quite specific to South Africa. It's not something that you find a lot of in other parts of the world. Then we're also going in with some tikka sauce.
It contains no monkey gland.
So some tikka sauce. So that's sort of like a peri chili type sauce. This recipe also has Portuguese origins, as you can probably guess. South African households do enjoy Portuguese style foods, Portuguese, Spanish, Mediterranean in general. So that's all nicely mixed. And then what I'm also going to go in with is a little bit of, we love this sauce, it's Tabasco sriracha. It's one of our favorites. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in there. No, I'm not, because the paper thing, yes, it was not opened properly. For heaven's sake, are we going to battle again? It's happening again. I got it. GCM, what is going on today? Really? I can't. Okay, we're going to go in with a little bit of that. This isn't too spicy, but it just adds a little bit of an interesting flavor. So this one here is pretty much done. I'm going to switch the heat off and leave this to cool so we can package it to put into the freezer. I'm going to just put the lid on and leave it on the stove top because we've got animals in and out of this kitchen this afternoon, and any minute now one of them is going to knock one of these pots off the stove top. Okay, so our chicken a la king is starting to get there. Our chicken has now cooled down enough, and we are now going to put it into our plastic baggies so it can go into the freezer. So that is all the food prep that we've done today. So that is 8 meals that are pretty much ready to go. 2 that are entirely finished, except for making a little bit of rice and some veggies to go with. And 6 that we literally just need to haul out of the freezer and quickly cook. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you liked it, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I am going to put some suggestions for other videos that you might like here, maybe here,
Oh yeah.
or here. I don't know yet.
Somewhere.
Somewhere there will be boxes that you can click to go and watch other videos. Please do that, and we will see you soon.